everyone, V here. For this video and the next video, I will be talking about the Cecil Hotel and the disappearance and subsequent death of Elisa Lam. Now, in order to give you guys the full story on the disappearance and death of Lisa Lam, I will first need to give you a complete backstory on the hotel that she disappeared from, as this hotel plays a huge part in the whole story. Because of this, I will need to split this video into two parts. The first part is going to be the backstory on the Cecil Hotel and its shady past, and the second part will be about the disappearance and death of Elisa Lam. Now, the Cecil Hotel was first opened on December 20th, 1924. The hotel had 15 floors and over 700 guest rooms. The hotel was built by three hoteliers, William Banks Hanner, Robert H. Shops, and Charles L. Dix, and the hotel was built to be a destination for business travelers and tourists. The hotel cost around $1.5 million to complete and was designed with a beautiful opulent marble lobby with stained glass windows, alabaster statues, and potted palms. And people who have stayed at the hotel in the past remember the massive great lobby and its elegance despite the hotel's shady past. The three hoteliers invested over $2.5 million into the hotel, hoping that it would do well since very similar hotels were being established in other areas of downtown Los Angeles at that time. Unfortunately, within 5 years of the hotel being built, the United States sunk into the Great Depression and the hotel industry declined substantially. A nearby area known as Skid Row started to also become more and more populated with homeless people, as well as people who were recently released from prison, and people who were dealing drugs or dealing with mental illness. This made this specific area far more dangerous than anyone had initially realized, with more than 10,000 homeless people living within the 4-mile radius near the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel originally had an iconic advertisement on the side of the building stating that the hotel's monthly cost for a room, but this section of the sign was eventually erased and replaced with the word daily, since the hotel eventually became a low-income housing building. In 2007, a small portion of the hotel was refurbished after a new owner decided to revamp the hotel, and they called this new portion of the hotel Stay on Main. They initially had hoped to revamp the whole hotel, but because the building was previously being used as a low-income housing, the owners were only able to secure work on a small portion of the hotel, which they fixed up and then created a separate entrance and reception area. But because the hotels were still connected, guests staying at the Stay on Main portion had to continue to share the staircases and the elevator with the low-income housing people, which had unfortunately imposed the chances of interactions with people who were mentally ill or drugged up. In 2011, the hotel was sold to a hoteler by the name of Richard Bourne for $30 million. Then, a New York-based firm, Simon Barron Development, acquired a 99-year ground lease on the hotel and was committed to the preservation of the historically significant components of the building, such as the hotel's grand lobby. The firm hoped to completely renovate the rooms, add a gym, a lounge, and a rooftop pool. Now that you guys have the general background on the creation and development of the Cecil Hotel, I would like to tell you a little bit about its creepy and violent past. The Cecil Hotel is well known for a number of murders and suicides that have occurred on its grounds. The very first documented suicide at the hotel happened on January 22, 1927, when Percy Ormond Cook, 52, shot himself in the head while inside his hotel room after failing to fix things with his wife and child. He was later rushed to the receiving hospital, but unfortunately he passed away that very night. The next reported death at the hotel was in 1931 when W.K. Norton died in his room after taking poison capsules. The next 20 years, more and more deaths occurred at the Cecil Hotel, and because of the murders and suicides, the hotel got the nickname the Suicide Hotel from people in the area. Because the hotel was very close to Skid Row and because they started to offer rooms for a relatively low price because of the Great Depression, a lot of violent attacks occurred at the hotel. Encounters with prostitutes, drug dealers, and addicts were huge issues that occurred on a daily basis at the hotel. In 1964, a retired telemarketer named Pigeon Goldie Osgood, a long-term resident who was well known and well liked at the hotel, was found dead in her room, where she had been beaten, stabbed, raped, and murdered. Her room was found to be ransacked and thoroughly looked through, and her murder remains unsolved to this day. In the 1980s, infamous serial killer and Satanist Richard Ramirez, who was well known as the Night Stalker, stayed at the hotel on and off during his murder spree. Ramirez was known to have committed murders in Los Angeles, and then he would return to the hotel where he would remove his bloody clothing and then proceed to enter the hotel through a back door and use the stairs to get to his room wearing only his underwear. Another serial killer by the name of Jack Unterweger stayed at the hotel in the 1990s, and many think that he did this because he wanted to copy Richard's crimes. While staying at the Cecil Hotel, Jack strangled and murdered at least 3 sex workers, which he eventually was convicted of. Well guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, or at least learned something new about the Cecil Hotel that you didn't know before. I will have the second part of this series uploaded next week for you guys to watch. As always, I really appreciate you watching my videos and supporting me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you would like to see more videos like this one, please hit the like button. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.